Good afternoon, viewers. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to Black Professionals Chat Room. We are excited to have a guest with us. She is going to be speaking to us about how she qualifies to become an accountant. Good afternoon, Ms. Dianna Mutampisi.
Good afternoon. How are you? I'm fine, thank you.
Welcome so much to our show. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor.
So for me, maths is not really my thing, so I stayed away from accounting. Is it that you were a genius at maths, or what was it that made you decide you wanted a career in accounting?
To be honest, no, I haven't been a genius at maths.
Okay.
But it's just the passion and the desire which I had since when I was very young.
Okay.
Because all the time when I used to go to the bank with my grandmom,
Okay.
I used to admire the cashiers by behind the tills.
Right.
So it grew up to be one of my passions, saying one day, hopefully, I'll become a banker or an accountant.
Oh, so how old were you at this point?
At that point, I was around 10. I knew that when I grow up, I want to be an accountant.
Wow. So at school, were you born here or where were you born, please?
I was born in Zimbabwe.
Okay. And when did you come over with your family?
I came with my family in 2014.
Wow.
So I was very young, at age of 14.
Okay. So did you go straight into education or?
When I got to England, I went to do my GCSEs here.
Okay.
And after my GCSEs, I went to college to study Association of Accounting Technician.
Okay.
Then from there, I went to university to study accounting and finance degree.
Okay. So in the educational system, coming over from Zimbabwe, how easy was it for you to just transition? Did you get any support in the educational system?
Yes, I would say, the system of here in United Kingdom is quite good. When I finished my GCSEs, I remember getting my results and I had only 4 subjects. I passed 4 subjects, including business studies.
Okay.
And I remember I was so devastated with the results because I was like, oh, my dream to become an accountant has been shattered.
Why?
Because the grades that I got, they were not including maths and English.
Okay.
So therefore, I thought that was the end of me not doing accounting.
Okay.
However, I was so privileged that, it so happened that I went to the college near my house, which was Northwestern College in Kent. And I met this lovely lady, a career advisor, and she was like, what do you want to do? I said I wanted to do A-levels, and the A-levels should include maths and some other subjects which will enable me to go and study accounting. And I remember this lady was like, so you think that your dream is over? I said, yes, I'll never be an accountant. Then she was like, no, actually there is a professional course, a vocational course at that time, called Association of Accounting Technician. And basically what this course does, it will enable you to study pure accounting with no other subjects like history. Is just pure accounting. So I think you should apply for the course and they'll take you on. And I remember I was saying, but I don't have maths. Then she said, you know what, there is a program within the college which allows you that even though you haven't passed your maths and English, while you're still studying for your AAT, as they call it, the shorter way, you'll still be able to study for your GCSE maths and your GCSE English. And you're still under 18. Your college will pay for it. So I was like, okay. So, I listened to her. I went ahead to apply, and lo and behold, I was successful. I did their interview. I was successful, and I got the place.
Right. So just to go a bit backwards, so for anybody that doesn't have GCSE maths and English, you can do a vocational course. To be able to, as a pathway to go into accounting.
Yes, which is called Association of Accounting Technician.
Okay. Is it still available now?
Yes, it's still available. Right. It's actually a better route to take. Instead of you going all the way to do A-levels, then you're going to do the professional course, because the good thing about this course is that as soon as you finish, you'll be qualified as a accounting technician, meaning that you will start to work like an accountant.
Right. So how long does it take?
It takes 3 years.
Okay.
There are various stages. The entry level is level 2, which is the foundation level.
Okay.
Then there is intermediate level 3, and the level 4, which is the diploma level.
Okay.
Which, you know, now they can say, after diploma level, you can actually go and start your own company if you have to.
Okay.
So there are ways and means of becoming an accountant, other than just going the route of university alone. And also, back then, I did not know. If I knew, I would have said at that time, finishing my GCSEs and look for apprentice.
Oh yeah, apprenticeship, yeah.
Yes, but I did not know.
Yeah.
I took the longer route.
Right. So how long did it take you in general to qualify?
In general, to qualify, it was meant to take, I was supposed to do it for 6 years in total, college and university. But however, there were hiccups along the line, so it took me 8 years.
Wow, but you got there in the end.
I got there in the end, yes.
What are some of the difficulties that you faced in those 8 years, and what was it that kept you going to overcome it?
Oh, at one point, you know, it was really hard to understand, because from being a GCSE student and to be an adult college student was a big transition for me.
Okay.
Because, you know, when you're at GCSE levels, you're spoon-fed,
yeah, definitely,
for you to do well to pass your exams.
Yeah.
And as for college, there was no such thing of being spoon-fed. You had to study hard and put in the work for you to do well.
Yeah.
So for me now, it was really hard to understand the basic of accounting. And I remember in my first year at college, one of my tutors said to me, I don't think accounting is for you, because you are really struggling in doing your examinations, your mock exams. What more about the external examinations? So I think you should look into doing something like business. And I remember it really shattered me, and I was like, I'm never going to be an accountant. I remember I cried actually in the in the lecture room.
Wow.
And it so happened that one of my friends, she saw me crying, and I only had one friend, bless her soul. Hannah, she saw me crying, and she said, Dion, you know what? I will help you. I will teach you the basic double entry for you to understand, because that's all what you need. Once you understand that, you will be fine. So she gave me encouragement, and I kept on. And truly, after that day, we're spending more time in the library studying, or going home late. You know, we're the last people to be out of the library. I remember the librarian say, I'm closing now. Say, okay, we give us 5 minutes. And yeah, it was Hannah who actually helped me to really grasp the bookkeeping, accounting, and after that it was an easier journey for me.
Having good friends, they help as well.
Yes, they do.
So now, so how was graduation for you? When you finally graduated, how did it feel like?
You know, I wept with the tears of joy.
Yeah.
And because there were times when I said I wanted to give up, seriously. It wasn't an easy journey.
Yeah.
And when I graduated, I was like, yes, I've done it. But I did not do it with my own strength. I did with the strength of God, by God's grace, and also with the encouragement of my father in the Lord, Reverend Dr. BAME Professionals. So it was such a joy. It was such a joy. But I knew that, you know, I'm on a greater mission. God made me to qualify for his purpose, to become I call myself the God accountant, because mainly because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have become an accountant. So yes.
How was it getting your first job? Did you start as a volunteer, or how did you get your first accounting job?
My first accounting job, how I got it was through, I've done work experience, because when I was at college, we were asked to do a 2 weeks work experience. And in this process now of doing work experience, it so happened that, you know, I was given a job opportunity before I even qualified to become an accountant. And that is the other main reason why I knew now God really wanted me to be an accountant, because the job opportunity came earlier before I even qualified. So it was through work experience, and I was offered the permanent part-time job.
Basically, to obviously break those barriers to get an employment, you would advise work experience for anybody watching?
Yes, work experience, and also to every young person or anyone who wants to do in accounting or in any sector, look for voluntary opportunities, because voluntary opportunities will lead you to that so-called your dream job, if you want to call it that way. And yes, work experience and do volunteering, it does help.
So in terms of volunteering and having work experience, what skills will you be able to develop to help you succeed in the accounting field?
The skills that you will develop the things like having eye for detail, because as an accountant you must have an eye for detail, and it will also make you to have understanding of what you're meant to do. And sometimes when you start as a volunteer or getting any work experience, it will not be maybe something within the exact thing that you want to do with accounting, but there'll be transferable skills that you will gain from these experiences. And so I would just say to anyone, when you go there, just learn, because whatever you will learn from there, you can use it to apply it in your next position.
So if anybody wants to go into accounting, what will be your advice to them?
Have the passion. That's the first thing. It's not about numbers, because being an accomplished accountant, it's beyond just number crunching. It's all about having the understanding of the business, and also just have the desire to see the business doing so well. You know, the rest will just be well with you.
Thank you so much for coming. It's been an opportunity to speak. Thank you for enlightening us and teaching us a few things that we can also use. If anybody wants to find you on Instagram, where do they find you, please?
Oh, they'll find me under Dianna.
Okay, so I'll put that on the screen for anybody that would like to speak to Mrs. Dion about how to become an accountant. As always, thank you so much for spending your time to watch, and until next time, see you soon. Bye.
Thank you.